My name is Anna Cross, and I was 22 the day I realized my family didn't see me as a person with a future. They saw me as a warning label. Growing up in the Cross family felt like living inside a group chat where everyone had a role and mine was always the punchline. My cousin Jeremy was the future lawyer. Taylor was the next tech genius. Daniel, my boyfriend, was ambitious. And me? I was the girl who fixed things. Pipes, faucets, garbage disposals, anything that leaked, rattled, or broke. They called me handy, but in my family, that meant not college material. The infamous barbecue happened on a choking hot August Saturday at Uncle Brian's house. He had the biggest backyard, the loudest voice, and the kind of confidence that made every insult sound like entertainment. That year, I had just finished trade school with my plumbing certification and a used red pickup I bought myself from months of weekend jobs. It wasn't glamorous, but it was mine. The ribs were smoking, the adults were laughing too loudly, and everyone stood around the picnic table while Brian bragged about negotiating a discount from his neighbor's landscaping crew. Then Jeremy mentioned he might take a semester off to explore some things. Brian burst out laughing and pointed his spatula straight at me. "You want to end up like Anna? Drop out and fix toilets for a living?" Everyone laughed. Even my dad chuckled awkwardly. That hurt worse than Brian's words. My mom leaned close and whispered, "He's just teasing." I looked at her, waiting for something stronger. It never came. So I set down my plate of potato salad and walked away. People think silence is weakness. Sometimes silence is insulation. It keeps you from becoming the villain in someone else's version of the story. The barbecue went on like nothing happened. Music played, Taylor took selfies, Aunt Lisa tried to make everyone do a group video. Daniel stood near Jeremy, laughing at something I couldn't hear. I stayed by the fence, staring at the backyard lights, wondering how I became the joke when I paid my own rent, bought my own truck, and never asked anyone for help. When I left, nobody noticed. Not even my mom. I sat in my truck with the radio hissing static, hands locked around the steering wheel. I didn't feel small. I felt angry. The slow kind. The kind that hardens. I whispered, "Okay, let's see where the toilet girl ends up." That week, I took every job I could find. Pumps, drains, broken disposals, clogged lines in houses with marble counters, and people who looked through me like I was part of the wall. I saved every dollar. I made a spreadsheet and named it Shut Them Up Fund. One pipe at a time, I stacked proof. By fall, people started asking for me by name. Anna Cross, the one who showed up, the one who didn't leave muddy footprints, the one who fixed what other people made worse. I ordered matte black business cards with white lettering. Anna Cross Plumbing, fixing what others mess up. I didn't post about it. I didn't brag. I just worked. Then my dad texted, "You doing okay?" In our family, that meant they had heard something and wanted confirmation without asking directly. I didn't answer. Not because I was broken, because I was busy becoming someone they couldn't edit. By winter, I had more work than I could handle, so I hired Darren, a nervous guy fresh out of trade school who wore steel-toe boots like they might attack him. He worked hard, he listened, and suddenly I wasn't just fixing leaks, I was building something. One morning, I was elbow-deep behind a washing machine in a townhome complex when I heard, "Anna?" I turned and nearly hit my head. Daniel stood in the doorway, polished shoes, cuffed sleeves, Bluetooth headset clipped to his collar like he was important. He looked around the laundry room like it smelled beneath him. "Didn't know you worked out here," he said. "Client called," I said. "Emergency drain line." He smiled carefully. "So you're really doing the small business thing?" It wasn't a question. It was a measurement. Then he added, "Hey, if my startup takes off, maybe we'll hire you. Big office. Might need someone to fix the bathrooms, right?" He laughed. This time, I didn't walk away. I smiled. "That would be great. Just call early. I book fast." Daniel blinked. That wasn't the answer he expected. I packed my tools, handed the client my card, and walked past him into the cold air. And for the first time, I felt the tables shift. Not loudly, not all at once, but enough to know something had started moving. Thanksgiving came wrapped in the usual chaos: group chat notifications, passive-aggressive planning, and the quiet assumption that I'd show up carrying something forgettable. "Anna, can you bring paper towels or something?" Lisa texted. Of course, the sacred role of background support. I almost didn't go. My finger hovered over the RSVP for hours. But I thought about my mom, her blurry sunrise photos every Monday, her quiet attempts that never quite turned into defense. So I went, not to be seen, just not to disappear. I parked my truck around the corner, wore clean jeans, and carried a giant pack of premium paper towels like it was a punchline I'd accepted. The moment I stepped inside, the smell of turkey and overcooked green beans hit me like a memory I couldn't shake. Kids screaming, wine pouring, Brian already mid-story about real jobs back in his day. I set the paper towels on the counter. No one looked up. Halfway through a dry dinner roll, Brian dropped into the chair across from me. "Still doing the toilet thing?" he asked, like he was checking if I still had a bad habit. I nodded. "Yeah, hired another tech last month." He snorted. "Better hope they don't unionize. You'd have to call HR. Oh wait, you are HR." Laughter rippled. I smiled. It burned, but I smiled. Jeremy was bragging about his startup's third pivot. Now it was a mindfulness app for pets. Taylor was Googling grad schools mid-meal. Daniel scrolled through his phone, occasionally chiming in like he was moderating the room. And me? Still the joke. Still the background. Worse, they thought I was used to it. My dad kept glancing at me, not mocking, studying, like he couldn't quite place who I was anymore. I didn't give him anything, just sipped my water and stayed quiet. After dessert, I cleared plates without being asked. I needed movement, noise, distance. While everyone crowded into the living room for football and loud opinions, I slipped into the garage, the one place that used to feel like mine. Dusty bikes, old boxes, and, in the corner, my high school toolbox. Rust covered. Forgotten. I walked over and opened it. The hinge creaked like it remembered me. Inside, old tools, a cracked flashlight, and a folded note in my handwriting. Don't stop. Not for them. I stood there longer than I expected, not crying, just remembering. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Pipe burst, water everywhere. Holiday rate okay. Saw your ad. I stared at it. Then I smiled. I walked back inside, caught my mom's eye. "I've got a call. Work." "Now?" she asked. "Holiday rates," I said. Brian overheard. "Must be nice charging double to fix other people's mess." I shrugged. "Triple, actually." He blinked. "And they pay it," I added, grabbing my coat. "Gladly." I left before anyone could respond. The Glendale job was chaos. A flooded duplex, ceiling dripping, a DIY disaster wrapped in duct tape and regret. I worked straight through midnight, fixed everything, and got paid in cash without negotiation. The downstairs tenant handed me hot cider and said, "You're the only one who showed up." I gave her 2 business cards. The next afternoon, my phone rang again. Voicemail. "Anna, it's Brian. We've got a situation. Water's coming from somewhere. Please call me." I played it twice, just to hear him ask. Turns out, while I was fixing someone else's mess, Brian's house had turned into a water park. Burst pipe behind the toilet, flooded vanity, soaked tile. His regular guy? Out of town. Jeremy tried to help, shut off the sprinkler system instead. I didn't call back. Not immediately. I took my time. Coffee, new filter for my truck, a nap. Then, around 6:45, I texted one word. Rate. 10 seconds later, "Whatever it is, please." I didn't respond. I just drove. I made sure I arrived at golden hour. Porch lights on, everyone home, audience ready. The door flew open. Brian stood there, wet socks, stained shirt, panic written all over his face. "Anna, thank God!" I stepped inside, towels everywhere. Jeremy holding a bucket under a leak like he was part of a comedy sketch. My aunt pacing in slippers, candles stacked on the table like they could fix plumbing. "This is what happens when you skip inspections," I said calmly. No one laughed. I got to work. No rush, no commentary, just precision. Fixed the pipe, sealed the wall, restored the line. Jeremy hovered, asking useless questions. I ignored him. An hour later, it was done. Brian followed me to the door. "You're a lifesaver." I held out my hand. "Triple holiday rate." He hesitated, then handed over his card. As the payment processed, I looked him straight in the eye. "Still doing the toilet thing?" He didn't respond. I walked out. 2 days later, I was added back into the family group chat, the one I'd quietly disappeared from years ago. First message. Brian. "Big thanks to Anna for helping us out. Real professional work." Thumbs up, applause emojis. Then Jeremy. "Always knew you were building something. Respect." I stared at the screen. Didn't reply, just muted it. Because I could already see it happening. They weren't apologizing. They were rewriting. After Brian's little plumbing emergency, something shifted, but not the way you'd expect. No apologies, no awkward conversations, just edits. Suddenly, I was back in the family group chat, tagged in posts, mentioned in conversations like I'd always been part of the story. Like the barbecue never happened. Like the jokes were just jokes. Brian posted first. "Proud of my niece Anna. Real hard-working, salt-of-the-earth kind of woman. Trades like hers are the backbone of this country." Comments flooded in. "So true. Love this. You must have taught her well." He liked every single one. I screenshotted it, not out of anger, out of memory. Jeremy followed. "Always knew Anna was building something big." Same guy who once mimicked flushing sounds behind my back. Now he was rewriting history in real time. I didn't respond. I just created a folder in my phone. They laughed. Every post, every message, every quiet attempt to repaint the past. Meanwhile, my business didn't just grow, it multiplied. 2 more techs, a small warehouse, contracts with condo complexes, cafes, even a church that had a pipe burst during Easter brunch. We fixed it in under 2 hours. Word spread, fast. Clients didn't care about degrees or titles. They cared that when something broke, I showed up. Family invitations started coming in like clockwork. Birthdays, dinners, just something small. I skipped a few, showed up to one. A seafood place downtown, white tablecloths, overpriced wine, polished conversations. Jeremy looked me up and down. "You still running your little tool crew?" I smiled. "It's grown." Before he could respond, Brian jumped in. "You should have seen her work at our place. Clean, precise, like a surgeon." Laughter again, but different this time. Softer, respectful. I didn't laugh. I remembered the barbecue, the spatula, the words. Dinner moved on. I stayed quiet, answered when asked, slid a business card across the table when Rachel's husband mentioned issues at his office. 2 days later, I had a walkthrough. A week after that, 5-figure recurring contract. I stared at the invoice when it cleared. Didn't celebrate, just nodded. The real shift wasn't the money, it was the tone. At the end of dinner, my aunt raised her glass. "I'm just so proud of how far we've all come. Every one of us doing something meaningful." Her eyes landed on me like I'd always belonged there. Lisa added, "I always knew Anna had something in her." I said nothing, just smiled. Because here's the truth. They didn't change. They adjusted, reframed, edited me into a version of their story that made them look better. So I let them. Spring came fast. My company expanded again. New vans, uniforms, a real logo stitched into navy fabric. We had a slogan now. "We don't patch it, we solve it." Cheesy, but clients loved it. I had a wait list, a team I trusted, systems that worked. Then my dad called. Not texted, called. "Hey kiddo, how's the empire?" I paused. "Still fixing toilets." He chuckled. "Listen, there's this Chamber of Commerce event. They're recognizing small business owners. I put your name in." "You what?" "They picked you. There's a plaque. They asked if a family member wants to present it. I volunteered." Of course he did. Friday night, ballroom, cocktail attire. I walked in wearing a tailored charcoal suit I bought after landing my first major contract. Clean, sharp, mine. My dad stood near the stage, talking to organizers like he was narrating my life in advance. They called my name. Polite applause. I walked up, shook hands, took the plaque. Then my dad stepped forward. "I'm so proud of this young woman," he began. "From the moment she showed interest in hands-on work, I knew she was different, driven, focused." I took the mic gently, smiling. "Thanks, Dad." I turned to the crowd. "I appreciate this, and I want to thank my team, the people who helped me go from fixing leaks out of the back of a second-hand truck to running a full operation."
Applause.
"But most of all," I added, "I want to thank the people who didn't believe in me, the ones who laughed, the ones who joked." Pause. "You gave me something better than support."
Silence.
"You gave me drive." A few nods. Someone whispered, "Damn." I smiled again. Turns out fixing toilets isn't such a joke after all. This time, the applause was louder. I handed the mic back, walked off stage, didn't look at my dad. 2 days later, Brian texted, "Saw the video. Proud of you. Always knew you'd make it." I stared at it, then replied, "Appreciate it. You still having that shower pressure issue?" Instant reply. "Yeah, actually. Can you take a look?" That was the moment. I opened my folder. They laughed, found the screenshots, the jokes, the barbecue clip, Jeremy's meme about sewage, Brian's voice calling my career a punchline. I compiled it all, clean, organized, precise. Titled it Appreciation Packet, Volume 1, and sent it. 10 minutes. Nothing. 2 hours. Silence. Next morning. Didn't realize you were still holding on to all that. I typed back, I wasn't, until you all pretended it never happened. No reply. But the message landed. And me? I wasn't angry. Not anymore. I had a wait list, a team, a business that didn't need validation, clients who paid, respected, trusted. So when people ask if I ever got back at my family, I tell them the truth. No. They still have plumbing problems. And now, they just get the invoice too.